All right, let's really get into this. I mean, wildfires are one thing, but let's talk about the bigger picture here. How the response, especially in the US, is making people lose faith in the government. And let's be real, when people feel like their leaders aren't stepping up, it's a problem. So, like, what's going wrong? And more importantly, what can be done to fix it? Let's break it down. First off, it's no secret that people are frustrated with how wildfire rescue and recovery efforts are handled. In California, for example, it's like every year there's a new disaster, and every year people feel like they're left hanging. There's this sense that, the government's just not keeping up. And actually, they've got a point. I mean, when you've got folks losing their homes, their livelihoods, and even their loved ones, they expect, no, they deserve a fast, effective response. But instead, it feels like a lot of red tape, delays, and finger pointing. So, what's causing this breakdown? Well, for one, there's this massive coordination issue. You've got federal agencies, state governments, local authorities. It's like too many cooks in the kitchen, and nobody's really taking charge. And yeah, sure, everyone means well, but the system is like super outdated. For example, the way funding is allocated for disaster relief is just a mess. It's slow, it's inefficient, and it leaves people waiting way too long for help. And then there's the communication problem. People need clear, reliable information during a crisis, right? But what they often get is mixed messages, or like complete radio silence. That kind of thing erodes trust big time. Oh, and let's not forget about the inequality issue. Low-income communities and marginalized groups are hit hardest by these disasters, but they're often the last to get the help they need. It's like so unfair. Now let's talk about what the government can do to turn this around. Because, yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. There's actually a lot that can be done to fix this, and fast. First of all, they need to streamline the whole disaster response system. Like cut out the bureaucracy and make it super clear who's in charge. Maybe even create a central agency that handles all this stuff, with the authority to act quickly and decisively. And while they're at it, they should like modernize the whole process. Use tech to predict fires, track them in real time, and coordinate resources more efficiently. I mean, we've got AI, drones, satellites. Why not use them to their full potential? Second, they've got to improve communication. Like set up a system where people can get real-time updates on what's happening, where to go, and what to do. And not just in English, make it accessible to everyone. Oh, and maybe, involve local communities more. They know their own needs better than anyone, so why not listen to them? And then there's prevention. This is a big one. The government needs to invest way more in things like forest management, controlled burns, and infrastructure upgrades to make communities more resilient.
I'm lucky to even have the little bag of clothes that I have left, but as far as trophies, memories, diplomas, everything else just went up in flames.
My mom just said it to me. She's like, everything's gone? You mean the books that we have, like nothing? I'm just like, Mom, it's all gone. All of it. Every memory, all those things are gone. We have whatever's left in our heads to rebuild with. All of it's gone.
It's like, why wait for a disaster to happen when you can stop it, or at least minimize it, before it starts? But, it's not just about fixing the system. It's also about rebuilding trust. And that means showing people, especially those who've been hit hardest, that they're not forgotten. Like set up programs to help them rebuild their lives, offer mental health support, and make sure they feel heard and valued. Oh, and one more thing, lead by example. The US is a global leader, right? So why not show the world how it's done? Partner with other countries, share knowledge and resources, and work together to tackle this global issue. I mean, wildfires don't care about borders, so why should we? Anyway, the point is, there's a lot of work to do. But it's doable. And yeah, it's going to take time, money, and effort, but isn't it worth it? People need to know that their government's got their back, especially in times of crisis. And like, if we can make that happen, we'll be in a much better place, not just for dealing with wildfires, but for handling any challenge that comes our way. All right, that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. This is a conversation we all need to be having,